Where will you go the moment after you die? This is the most universal and profound human question. Krishna gives a startlingly precise answer in the Bhagavad Gita. He says that your destination after death is not determined by a lifetime of accumulated good or bad deeds in some grand cosmic accounting. Instead, it all comes down to a single thought, the very last one. The state of your consciousness in the final, fleeting moment of life is the karmic seed that determines the entire reality of your next existence. Understanding this spiritual science is the most important preparation you can ever make, because it transforms death from a terrifying unknown into a final, conscious act of creation. It is the ultimate secret to taking control of your eternal destiny. The principle is stated clearly by Krishna in the 8th chapter of the Gita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. This is a fundamental law of karmic physics. The mind is like a projector, and the world is the screen. At the moment of death, the mind is intensely focused, and the final thought, impression, or desire held in that moment acts like the final frame in the projector. The soul is then propelled into a new body and a new environment that is a perfect vibrational match for that final thought. It is an incredibly powerful and sobering concept. A lifetime of spiritual practice can be undone by a moment of fear or attachment at the end, just as a lifetime of sin can be purified by a final moment of pure devotion. Let's explore how this works. Throughout our lives, our thoughts and actions create deep grooves in our consciousness, patterns known as samskaras. Whatever we have focused on most intensely during our life, be it our family, our career, money, or a spiritual ideal, is what will naturally and automatically surface in our mind at the moment of death. It is the path of least resistance for our consciousness. A man who has spent his entire life obsessed with accumulating wealth will, in all likelihood, be thinking of his money on his deathbed. His final thought will be one of attachment and anxiety. As a result, his soul will be drawn to a situation in his next life that is resonant with that consciousness, perhaps one of greed, scarcity, or intense material struggle. Feel the gravity of this. The thoughts you are indulging in right now, today, are a rehearsal for your final performance. They are creating the mental habits that will dictate your state of mind in that critical moment. This is why a mindful, conscious life is so vital. It is a form of training for the moment of transition. The story of King Bharata is a classic and tragic illustration of this principle. Bharata was a great and holy king who renounced his kingdom to live a life of meditation in the forest. He was on the verge of spiritual perfection. One day, he saved a baby deer from a tiger and became deeply attached to it. He started spending all his time caring for the deer, his mind constantly preoccupied with its well-being. When the moment of his death came, the deer was by his side, and his final thought was one of worried attachment to this animal. Because of that one thought, this great saintly king in his next life was born as a deer. Although he retained the memory of his past life and lived as a pious deer, he had still lost his human form due to a moment of misplaced attachment. This story is a powerful warning about the subtle ways the mind can trap us. So, how can one prepare for this final moment? Krishna provides the solution. He says that if one's final thought is of him, the Supreme Divine, then one comes to him, attaining liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, the entire science of yoga and spiritual practice is designed to train the mind to automatically think of the divine. Chanting mantras, studying scripture, praying, and associating with other spiritual people are all methods for creating deep, divine samskaras. They are ways of carving a groove in the consciousness that leads directly to God. When the mind has been trained day after day, year after year, to find its refuge in the divine, then, at the moment of death, that is where it will naturally go. It becomes the automatic default setting. The story of Ajamila provides a hopeful counterpoint to the story of King Bharata. Ajamila was a man who had led a deeply sinful life, but he had named his youngest son Narayana, which is a name for God. On his deathbed, terrified and in pain, he called out his son's name, Narayana. Because he uttered the name of God in his final moment, even though he was thinking of his son, he was saved. His consciousness was purified by the holy name, and he was given another chance to achieve perfection. This story illustrates the immense potency of connecting to the divine, even in an indirect way. It shows that there is always hope. Your fate is not sealed. The practice of consciously remembering God is the ultimate life insurance policy for the soul. The moment of death should not be seen as a passive event that happens to you. It is the final, active choice you get to make in this life. It is the culmination of all your practices, the final exam. By understanding this karmic law, you can begin to prepare now. Every time you choose a divine thought over a material one, every time you chant a mantra instead of worrying, every time you feel gratitude instead of greed, you are preparing for your death. You are packing your bags for your next journey. This knowledge removes the morbid fear of death and replaces it with a sense of profound responsibility and purpose. You are the architect of your own eternal journey. The choice is yours in every moment, and especially in the last. If you wish to learn the practical ways to train your mind to prepare for this ultimate journey with confidence and peace, then subscribe. Together, we will explore the timeless techniques that ensure your final thought is your ticket to the supreme destination.